What is up, survivors? We're back for another mod review. Today's mod review, we're going over Jurassic Ark structures. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of Ark, you're probably a fan of Jurassic Park, and there's a bunch of different Jurassic Park mods out there with dinos and creatures and stuff, but this one popped up on my feed, so I figured I would give it a look-see. It's kind of new, so expect a lot more things coming out, but if it's anything like this, I'm super stoked about it, so let's get into it. So really, this is just kind of a structures and then a vehicle mod that what you're getting out of this, and most of it's cosmetic, but like I said, we'll get into it. So you'll be able to build the Jurassic Rotunda, the Raptor Pen, the Spino Plane versus the plane, basically, a Jurassic Jeep, the gate, which is a behemoth gate, and then the gate door, the Shark Cage, and the Dino Crate. Now, that is pretty much what we're looking at thus far. It's fairly new mod, so obviously expect all the stuff, but the idea is to bring some of the iconic Jurassic Park things into the map, which I think would be perfect for a Jurassic Park mod. And it never fails. It's raining. That's what we do here. Anyway, so let's go over all this stuff. It's crafted on your person. Now, I did think it was a little weird that the Behemoth Gate said it was crafted on the smithy, but I made it on my person. I don't know why. I have GCM on, thinking maybe that might have been it, but when I built the smithy, I did not have the option to build it there. So I'm assuming you still make it on your person. Anywho, it's Behemoth Gate, Behemoth Door, just like normal. You can open and close it. It doesn't look like there's any auto. Yeah, there's no auto to it. It's an open and close gate, but as you would expect, it is very much themed after the giant Jurassic Park gate. Anyway, this guy, we're gonna wait till last. This is absolutely insane, but we're gonna do that one last for sure. Up next is one big structure, and this is the Raptor Cage. This is the Raptor Cage, the enclosure where they were like feeding them and stuff, you know, dropping the cow in, you know, that whole thing. But not only is it one big structure, but you can build in here. Like, I can free place stuff inside of here without needing a foundation. I can drop it in here, which is pretty cool. There doesn't appear to be any snap points to it. Like, I tried to see if I could snap railings to it, and I could not, but you can build inside of here. And as you can see, inside of here, I am getting the home benefit too. So you could build a little house in here, or obviously keep your raptors in here if you wanted to. And not only that, not only can you build inside, but actually anywhere on top of this flat surface. It seems like, in general, if it's flat, you can build on it, which is pretty cool. The idea of being able to kind of dress it up exactly how you want to. It doesn't appear to be a way inside of the tower just yet that I saw. No way inside of the tower yet. It looks like it's not exactly done yet. As you can see kind of down in here, but there's no real way to do anything with it yet. Again, new mod, so keep an eye out on it. But so far, that's pretty cool. Over here, a giant Jurassic Park Dino Crate. I'm assuming there's going to be more to this eventually, but do you see the InGen where they dropped it off and they came out of the dinosaur was stuck in the crate or whatever? But yeah, that's what we're looking at here. It's just a big crate, honestly. It doesn't really do anything other than that, but you can build on top of it, which would be pretty funny to do, actually. Build a base on top of this crate. I think that'd be hysterical. Obviously, we should probably talk about the fact that you can pick all of this stuff up, right? So you can have the option to just pick up these Dino Crates and any of these buildings. So those big structures, the gate, the whole thing, you can pick them up at a moment's notice. A small critique while looking at this, again, this is a new mod, so I try not to get too heavy on the critiques because they're brand new, and I'm assuming a lot of this stuff is probably already being worked on. You can pick these up kind of easy. You have that pickup option, and it comes by pretty quick. So if you're going to use it now, pay close attention to that to make sure you don't accidentally pick it up by, the last thing you want to do is build something inside of here and then pick it up and then be really disappointed. Over here is the Rotunda. This looks really fun, actually. This might be one of my favorite parts to this. But yeah, up the steps, inside, you have the Rotunda, the cinematic thing from the very first one with the Jurassic Park statue. What was it? It was at the end of the movie, too. Yeah, T-Rex versus Raptors. Everything was here. So this is a really well done thing. I really appreciate this, the graphics here on the Rotunda wall. That looks really cool. You got all the dinos here. Looks great. Awesome stuff. You got plenty of room inside of here, and it seems to be the same way. You could just build stuff inside of here. So if you wanted to make a base out of this Rotunda, you could simply drop your crafting stations and your beds and stuff in here and not have to worry about foundations, which is cool. Up the stairs, and the stairs actually work really smooth. That is one thing to note. Sometimes we get mods with pre-built buildings like this and the stairs act a little wonky sometimes. No, they work pretty good. I think things are a little tall. I mean, other than that, I think the scale might be a little off on the railings, honestly, but like the steps and the scale and the pillars and the doorway, that all looks actually really good to me. It's just the railings seem a little bit too tall, but whatever. You know, I mean, if I was going to be nitpicky, that's what I would nitpick about. And that is hilarious. Anyway. You have plenty of room up here. So like I said, you could easily build this rotunda and make yourself a house inside of here, a base inside of here, and then reenact your Jurassic Park dreams. It can happen right here. It looks gorgeous. I like the textures, the giant T-Rex skeleton, the banner. There was a lot of thought that went into this, a bit of research, I think, too. And I think it shows. Even like the fossils on the wall here, I think it looks great. Looks super cool. Anyhow. From the outside, and we'll talk about the outside too, but from the outside here, you actually have a couple different entry points too. Like you have the ramps up the side, you have the doorways in the back. Obviously, I didn't place this thing exactly where I probably should have, but as you can see, you have it's pretty big, right? Pretty sizable. Like I said, I probably should have built some foundations and made a big flat area to drop this on top of, but I was kind of wanting to see how it leveled out with the ground. So far, obviously, it tries to put itself down level, so you just kind of have to work with it. Maybe a critique would be being the option to raise or lower these structures a little bit. That would be kind of helpful, especially when you just want to place them on flat ground. You don't necessarily want to do the foundation thing. But again, like I said, I can't stress that enough. New mod, so kind of bear with it, give it time. But so far, I got to say this was definitely one to keep eyes on. Over yonder, and this kind of falls into the same category that I talked about before. This is the Spino versus the plane, where the Spino's tearing the plane apart, which is pretty gnarly. As you can see, it's supposed to be like the oil of like the plane coming out, but it wants to sit level, so it's really hard to kind of, you know, finding a perfectly level piece of ground in Ark that's substantially big is near impossible. So unless you're putting it on foundations, the option to like raise or lower this might be pretty cool, but it does look awesome. I'd like to see more done with this one. Maybe hollow out the plane a little bit. Maybe give you the option to mess around with it. That's pretty neat. But all in all, I think these are kind of the idea is to be sort of like props almost per se. With at least I imagine the idea is for this to be more of a prop related thing, relating to like a Jurassic Park creature mod. I think that would be really cool. You could have a really fun themed map that way. The only last thing I want to talk about is the shark cage, and I have some admin commands on, so we'll just bring one in. I don't know what's going on here. So it says that it needs to snap to something, but it constantly keeps trying to snap it underground. And I've tried to put it on foundations and it doesn't want to seem to do that either. But as you can see, it wants to build it underground. So then I thought, okay, shark cage, right? It's got to go in the water. Maybe that's what's going on. And not so much. I even loaded this on a different map thinking maybe it was the map that was doing it. And I can't see... Yeah, I can't, like, the best you can do is kind of place it like that. Like, I can't actually see the whole cage. I'm not sure what's going on there. Again, new mod, I'm assuming this is going to be addressed fairly soon. Depending on how it's laid out and how durable it is for, like, underwater tames, like, actually taming critters underwater, that could be really useful. Anyhow, let's get to the Jeep. This Jeep is hilarious. I love this Jeep. It requires no fuel. It does get level ups to include its speed. Melee doesn't seem to matter. I really wouldn't worry about this thing. These stats are crazy. I'm assuming these are subject to change though, so take this with a grain of salt. This is just what it is for right now. No fuel is needed, so yet. I'm assuming that's probably going to change too. You probably have to put like gasoline in or something like that. This thing is insane. It is so fast. And then also what I found is that when it's underwater, it still drives. It's almost faster underwater than it is on land. This thing knocks over rocks, it knocks over trees, it does everything. This is kind of insane, right? Like this is definitely a little this probably needs to be worked out a little bit. This is absolutely nuts. It's fun, but it's nuts at the same time. I like the whole smoke cloud idea. I imagine doing this is kind of difficult to do. This kind of reminds me of like the Tech ATV, where I think it's really hard to make like a vehicle work in Ark for whatever reason. I'm not entirely certain why. I don't know enough about modding in the back end of creating to be able to tell you why, but from a look perspective, I mean, nail on the head, right? Like this looks fantastic. Looks absolutely wonderful. I think it was a fun idea. I really liked it. I mean, I want to see, I can see where the imagination is, right? Like I can see the vision that's going on with this. just some tweaks about the implementation. I think it'd be really fun. Anyway, I saw this and I knew it was new and I knew it wasn't complete and I knew it probably needed some work, but more importantly, I just wanted to see what was done already, and what has been done already I think looks really cool. So it definitely has a lot of potential. And when I see mods like this, I'm like, man, we got to do something so that people see this and maybe they go back and they say, oh, this is awesome. And this is even more motivation to get some cool stuff out of this. But at any rate, this is what we're looking at so far. To craft a lot of this stuff, it's pretty straightforward. Stone and wood for a lot of it, metal ingot for some of it. I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that, yeah, the Jeep's electronics and metal, which is really the only difference, but nothing too crazy, fairly easy to craft. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's it, guys. That's the Jurassic Ark Structures mod. Feel free to leave something in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I will have a link to the Steam Workshop page in the description of the video so you guys can check that out at your leisure. And I'm leaving because I'm going to go ride around this whole island in this Jeep for a little bit because honestly, it's just way, way too much fun. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys on the next one.